Now, our text for today introduces a number of qualifications for an overseer in the congregation. However, by extension, the encouragement to reach out or to set our heart on making spiritual progress applies to all of us. The Watchtower comment at the end says this: "In like manner, brothers and sisters who desire to serve as pioneers, as Bethelites, or as Kingdom Hall construction volunteers do well to stretch forward to attain their goals." We all know that the Apostle Paul here did not encourage anyone to ambitiously strive for a certain office or a certain status. It is not about the appointment or the office as a ministerial servant or an elder. And it's not about the appointment as a pioneer, Bethelite, assembly hall servant, or Kingdom Hall construction volunteer. Paul encouraged here to reach out in an effort to qualify for responsible work in Jehovah's organization. Today we want to talk about the why. Why would brothers want to work hard, as the Watchtower comment says, to qualify for assignments in the congregation? And sisters now have more spiritual goals than ever that they can reach out for, such as SKE, Gilead, and other spiritual goals. Why would we all, regardless of whether we are brothers or sisters, stretch forward to attain spiritual goals? We'd like to highlight three main reasons. Let us open first of all to Matthew chapter 5. Here in Matthew chapter 5, in verses 14 and 15, Jesus uses the illustration of a lamp that gives light. Now let's look at verse 16 as we want to see his conclusion. "Likewise, let your light shine before men, so that they may see your fine works and give glory to your Father who is in the heavens." So the most important reason for working hard to make spiritual progress is our desire to glorify or praise Jehovah. Is not the way how Jehovah administers his sovereignty in love a great motivating force to reach out? Additionally, consider Jehovah's mercy with us imperfect humans, his patience in helping us, and his promise to protect us in these troublesome times. So Jesus had good reasons to tell us, "My Father is glorified in this, that you keep bearing much fruit and prove yourself my disciples," according to John 15, verse 8. So in this sense, who of us can rightfully say it's enough? It's time to relax. Let's just maintain the status quo. The contrary is the case. We work hard, for example, cultivating the fruitage of the Spirit in order to reflect Jehovah's wonderful personality. And in fact, the Apostle Paul uses the illustration of a mirror reflecting Jehovah's glory according to 2 Corinthians 3, verse 18. So making spiritual progress is like polishing our mirror in order to better praise Jehovah. Can we see the smile of approval from Jehovah as he watches us, as he sees the efforts of each one of us? Now, what is the reason number 2 for our efforts in attaining spiritual goals, for our reaching out to improve our qualifications? Let us please turn to 1 Timothy chapter 4. The young Timothy must have displayed a maturity beyond his years. According to chapter 4, verse 14, Paul reminded Timothy that he had been appointed to carry responsibilities in the congregation. Why would Timothy need to continue making spiritual progress? Now let us read chapter 4, verse 15. "Ponder over these things, be absorbed in them, so that your advancement may be plainly seen by all people." So Timothy's advancements in connection with his spiritual qualities would be seen by all people. So the second reason for reaching out or forward to attain our spiritual goals is that others benefit. For example, if we reach our goals in the ministry when it comes to the amount of time that we spend there or the quality of our conversations, then others will benefit. People in the territory and our brothers. Brothers working on their spiritual qualities so that they one day can serve as a ministerial servant or an elder. All of this can be seen by others and they benefit from their efforts. Others will benefit from us serving at an assembly hall or working in a kingdom hall construction or a renovation project. Our brothers and sisters need every help and every word of encouragement from each one of us. And therefore, we all work hard to continue making spiritual progress. Since we have not stopped doing exactly this, we might say we have been able to inspire others to do the very same. It is contagious, and we all continue to grow. Now, let's look at the third reason for our earnest efforts in attaining spiritual goals. Reason number 3 is we ourselves benefit from it. Now, this seems to be a contradiction because we are encouraged to reach out, to work hard. How can we ourselves benefit from it? Now, let's turn to Hebrews chapter 5 in order to find out in which way we benefit ourselves. Paul describes here this process of making spiritual progress. And here in chapter 5, verses 11 to 13, he describes the brothers as little children. Small children constantly need help and guidance, even in very basic things. Otherwise, they are confused and helpless and frustrated. But now let's see what Paul describes here about mature people in verse 14. And we continue reading in chapter 6, verse 1. He says here, "But solid food belongs to mature people, to those who through use have their powers of discernment trained to distinguish both right and wrong. Therefore, now that we have moved beyond the primary doctrine about the Christ, let us press on to maturity, not laying a foundation again," and so on. So Paul tells us here, make spiritual progress. This is something that does not happen automatically. He says, press on, go forward. So what is the benefit from us? As Paul describes here, it will allow us to distinguish both right and wrong. In other words, we can make good decisions. And there is another benefit in this connection. Making spiritual advancement brings contentment. It makes us happy. As long as we work hard to attain our spiritual goals, we will see progress. Sometimes just baby steps, sometimes 2 steps ahead, and then sometimes 1 step back. But anyway, by doing this, we ensure that we are content and happy servants of Jehovah. Now, in summary, each one of us, whether we are a brother or a sister, needs to continue reaching out and stretching forward to attain spiritual goals. Why? Because Jehovah deserves it, and because others will benefit from it. But then also it's a key for us to succeed as a mature, content, and happy servant of Jehovah.